Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I have two more reviews for you. They will have the description down below, and I will have the timestamp in case you want to skip. But this is going to be DC Comics Robin issue number 8 and Task Force Z issue number 2. Robin number 8 was written by Joshua Williamson and Gleb Melnikov and Max Dunbar did the art. Hi-Fi's did the colors, and Troy Peteri did the letters. On Task Force Z, we got Matthew Rosenberg as the writer. Eddy Burrows and Eber Ferreira did the art. Then colors is Adriano Lucas, and Rob Leigh did the letters. If I mispronounced those names, I apologize. And at the very end of this review, I will show you off some of the art within both books. But both books were great. Robin, if you don't know, it's the Fight Club that's set up. I mean, we're on the 8th issue. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest going back and catching up. They're great. It's a great read so far. Basically, he's on Lazarus Island, and they have it set up with this Mortal Kombat style tournament. We are at the very end, and it is Robin versus Hawk, and they are supposed to be going toe-to-toe to find out who's going to win the tournament. We also know behind the scenes that Robin has recently found out the more deaths this island entails, that it will unleash something down beneath the island kind of thing. But basically the fight starts off. It goes back and forth with Robin and Hawk evenly matched. Eventually, it goes toe to toe. I want to say Robin gets the first hit, and then it goes back and forth with Hawk. Eventually, with Hawk ultimately defeating Robin, but Robin kind of letting him do it, and he actually snaps his neck and kills him. But he still has one more death. Technically, at this moment, everybody on the island technically has one more death. But at this moment, it's like the last death is like the final death. So, most fighters at this point kind of back down because the other two are a given. So at this time, Mother does come forward after Hawk does defeat Robin and ask if anybody else is going to, try to take down Hawk to become the leader, but put their life on their line trying to do so. And especially they just all witnessed the fight between Robin and Hawk, and they were all like amazed and glorified and everything. So no one really steps up to take to challenge them kind of thing. After that, Mother basically stating, okay, the tournament's over, and then unleashing her evil plan. The island splits in two. They cut off all the exits. All the members that are in the tournament instantly are kind of corralled like cattle by the League of Assassins and the League of Shadow that are there. And we do get to see like this demon rise from this Lazarus pit that's under the island. And as soon as the demon rises, we do see Robin get back up, resurrected, of course. It's he still has his third death. But him saying that he's going to take out the demon, and Hawk saying, this is what I was raised for, I was growing for this. And as soon as the demon, comes out of the pit or whatever, it instantly it punches a hole right through Hawk and throws him on the ground. And that's where this issue leaves off. Task Force Z issue number 2. In the first, in this comic, it is Red Hood, and he is leading a group, kind of like a Suicide Squad, but the only difference of catch here is they are all dead members in his group. They are all being resurrected with the Lazarus resin. It's in a pill form, and it's just enough resin to reanimate them to a zombie state, but not necessarily enough to resurrect them back to full-fledged living and everything. The members in the group in the first issue was, of course, Red Hood, the leader. Then we have Arkham Knight, we have Man-Bat, we have Bane, and then Mr. Bloom is with them. The title did start out saying that the Sundowner is a part of this group, but in the first issue we have not seen the Sundowner yet. I was kind of thinking they mixed Mr. Bloom and Sundowner together, because they're kind of, they go back and forth. So in the last issue they were going up against Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze kind of he instantly killed Man-Bat, and Bane, and then he froze Red Hood, and he kind of left him there as he took off. Mr. Bloom had disappeared, and the last thing we saw was Arkham Knight was kind of inching her way, trying to eat Red Hood. They are still zombies. And this issue starts off with Red Hood contacting like his superiors, kind of like cursing them off, asking for support, them telling them that there is no support, he needs to get himself out of the situation that he's in. And he does. He eventually like electroshocks Arkham Knight, so she goes down for the count. We do see that Mr. Bloom didn't run off. He does go after Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Freeze had got injured by the different members of the Task Force Z, so he's kind of in the process of dying. And Mr. Bloom, when he stops him, he gives him a whole bunch of them, like a mass amount of pills, stating that he's going to help him with his dying problem. And that's kind of when they show him kneel over on the ground. At the same time, we see like Mr. Bloom go back and help Red Hood, and give enough resin to calm Arkham Knight down, and they basically grab the team and go back to headquarters. They go back to headquarters, and Red Hood is just basically like, I quit, I don't want to do this, there's no way I can control these zombies, they keep trying to eat me and eat everybody else, kind of thing. And their superior stating that, like they picked him for a reason, he can do it, it just needs more time with the team, kind of thing. But they do show you that Bane and Man-Bat are resurrected, them stating as long as their heads are intact, they can regrow the bodies using this Lazarus resin. After he finally kind of huff and puffs and, he's not getting his way, he does walk off, and we do see him walking around this facility that they're in, and he does run into Arkham Knight. But at this point, she's like more reanimated. And she explains that, because she looks regular at this point, not 100%, but more than she's looked in the first, what we've seen of her as a zombie. And she basically explains like that when they go through the resurrection process, when they take enough damage and they have to be reanimated back from their head or whatnot, they're given like a shit ton of the Lazarus resin, enough to bring them back, so they do have like their thoughts and everything for a brief amount of time. But eventually like the zombie part kicks in, where it wants more resin, and they slowly go back to their undying looking ways. We jump forward to the next mission, and it's basically they are sending the team out looking for the next member of this group, the Task Force Z. And Jason, kind of one of his complaints, he says he needs like somebody to watch his back. So the team does go out this time with Bane, Man-Bat, Mr. Bloom, Red Hood, and Arkham Knight, but this time they are accompanied with a doctor, and she's supposed to assist them in the next member of their group. So they do go to like a theater or something of that nature, and they do find out that for some reason the theaters is like a different group of villains are using it as a hideout. It is like the Cobras, and they're kind of like they're in the process of like going to rob a bank or something like that, But they're it's like the cult of the Cobras. But eventually, like Man-Bat freaks out and he starts like trying to eat a bunch of the people, because they find all the clan of Cobras, and the clan does not see them, and so they try and leave all sneaky deaky, and Man-Bat kind of just gets hungry and goes after him, and so it's this massive like fight between the team and the clan of Cobras, and the clan basically gets taken out very easily. But in the process, like Bane ends up falling down into this hole and kind of disappears. As they're like going trying to locate Bane, they do find the next member of the group. It's a dead body in a coffin, and it turns out to be Deadshot. We in the process, when all the Cobras had came, when they got into the fight and everything, we do see that the scientist that they brought along that was supposed to assist them, she is the Sundowner, stating that she's one of Arkham Asylum's oldest inmates, and that's why no one has really seen her as a Sundowner, because she lives in the shadows, kind of thing. But there is a part in the book where, to like get rid of most of the clan, they do have to turn off the lights. The Sundowner comes around and just takes out most of the clan, and then they have to turn the lights back on for her to go back to her regular form. But eventually they do locate, the body, and it being Deadshot, and I guess, like Jason assumes that Deadshot is officially dead, but he kind of, as Jason turns his back to him, we do see Deadshot like wake up and shoot him in the back, and Jason kind of falls to the ground, and that's the end of this issue. But overall, great. Both books were great, easy reads. They're really quick. They were decent sized books, but I mean, just the amount of action and everything, and so they were really quick reads. But so far, both of these series have been really good. I'm going to show you some of the art, and I'll let y'all get on y'all's way. We're going to start here at Robin, then we'll go. This is that Lazarus pit. I think if I can get it to zoom in. Hawk and Robin doing their fighting stuff. That's pretty much most of the book, is Robin and Hawk fighting each other. But it doesn't disappoint, and Robin does take a beating. Hawk does take a beating, but eventually Robin does, he does fall, but he kind of does it on purpose. This is when he resurrects, if I can get it to focus, and this is the demon when it's taken out Hawk right here, and that's the end. That's kind of the last page. Then you got the next book is Task Force Z, and then right here, this is where the book starts off with Jason trying to save his life with the Arkham Knight. This is Mr. Freeze taking all those pills in the face from Mr. Bloom. And them still doing their ice mission. There's a big conversation between Red Hood and Mr. Bloom I did not go into. You gotta remember, when I do these reviews, guys, I leave a lot out, and trying not to spoil everything, even though I do spoil the main gist of the the story and everything. It is a breakdown kind of thing. There's the whole cult of the Cobras kind of thing. There's Man-Bat going crazy like, ooh, food! Everybody getting in there hustling. There's some amazing art in this issue. I'll get you to the last. There's the Sundowner, for anybody that's that purple looking mist kind of thing. There's his face right there. For a lot of people that don't know the Sundowner. I'm not well versed in the Sundowner. But here you got them finding Deadshot, and the next scene is just, him waking up and shooting Red Hood right there, and that's where it ends. Alright guys, like, comment, subscribe, that fun game that we all say. Have you read either one of these books? Do you look forward to reading any of these books? Leave me a comment down below, guys. Alright, bye.